How's it going, YouTube? Tyler the Hotshot Hauler here, guys. Making a video for y'all here about how and why I got into hotshot trucking. So, I started hotshot trucking in May of 2022. Right now it's May of 2023. I've been in business just under a year. So, it's been a good year for the most part. Lots of learning. Not a whole lot of money made. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I really haven't made a whole lot of money in my first year. I've had a couple really good months, but for the most part overall, I've basically just broke even. So for a first year business, I honestly can't complain about that. A lot of painful lessons learned, a lot of very expensive mistakes. But that is part of being an owner operator and living and learning. Is unfortunately it's just expensive and it really sucks. Let's talk about how it all came to be. So I didn't even know what hotshot trucking was until I think late summer of 2021. I happened to stumble upon it on YouTube, just like I'm sure many of you have. And I was like, this is pretty cool. This is kind of, something that you can do, be your own boss. You can, make some money. We'll see. Granted, you will learn as you get into the business that many YouTube hotshotters are very fake. They only show you, oh yeah, you can make all this money, hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars. Guys, the very few percentage of guys make that kind of money on hotshotting. I will tell you that, very, very few. Okay, a lot of the stuff out there, there's a lot of fakes. There's a lot of guys who are gonna blow smoke up your ass, all just to make YouTube revenue. I will tell you that there is some good ones out there, but the majority of them are bad. And they lie. They lie through their teeth. And until you've been in the business and you know what they're supposedly talking about, you are not going to know that they are lying. Okay, I'll tell you that right now. But anyways, back to the topic at hand. So I basically just kind of stumbled upon it. And I was like, well, this is pretty cool. Didn't really think too much of it. Well, then my employer at the time was being threatened by the federal government, just like all of the rest of America was, because it was during the time of the COVID-19 scamdemic. And my employer was being told by the federal government, hey, you have to meet the vaccination requirements because of your size and because of federal contracts, yada, yada, yada. So your entire workforce has to be vaccinated within, I think it was like 120 days that they gave them. So my employer followed suit to save their business, and do what they wanted to do, keep their business open, obviously. And they put out correspondence that, hey, everybody has to be vaccinated in this company within 120 days or else you're basically going to get fired. They didn't say you were going to get fired, but they said they were going to take the steps necessary to keep the doors open for the business. So you put two and two together, that means you're going to get fired. So basically I started looking for a plan B. So I was like, well, okay, if we're going to get fired here in a couple months, we got to have a plan to jump to. So I was like, well, here we go, hotshot trucking. So I went out about a month later. I established my business and started working that, and then I worked at that job until December, when the deadline was. December rolled around and nothing happened. So I was like, oh, okay, well, we didn't get fired. So, okay, whatever. So anyways, I worked that job until April of 2022. At that point in time, my wife and I had sold our previous house, and we had the funds available to be able to start the business without having to pay for financing or anything like that. I was fortunate enough to be able to pay for everything in full. So I said, okay, well, hey, let's hold this money. Let's figure out what happens. Because I was pretty unhappy at work. A lot of crap was going on. I just was miserable. Well, long story short, I eventually reached my breaking point with work, and I quit. I decided that, I wanted to do something else. I was absolutely miserable. So I quit. And then as my toolboxes were being loaded up on the wrecker, guys, I'm not exaggerating, I got a phone call from a local Ram dealership who had told me that somebody had backed out on a Ram purchase of a brand new 2022 Ram 2500 6.7 Cummins. Did I want it? And I was like, absolutely. So they held it for me for the next day. I went up and bought it right there. Kind of fell into place absolutely perfectly. So we did that, and then for the trailer, here was the fiasco on the trailer. So for the trailer, the lead time on the trailer was like 6 to 8 months when I ordered it. Due to the shortage and everything that was going on, they told me it'd probably be about 6 to 8 months. But my first Titan trailer that I ordered had two 10K axles on it and was stickered for a 20K GVWR. Obviously, that would not work for non-CDL hotshot trucking. Well, by the time I realized the error was when I was at the trailer store purchasing the trailer, which had happened to come in right about the same time as I got the truck. It was shortly after I got the truck. Well, so what ended up happening was the trailer dealer was very nice. I'm still very loyal to him to this day. We treat each other right, gives me a lot of business, yada, yada, yada. Well, what he ended up doing was he ended up just basically taking the trailer into his stock of inventory, and then he ordered me a new trailer that would work for non-CDL hotshot trucking. And that's my a 30-foot Titan that I've been running ever since. Now, what ended up happening though because of that was the build prices since I built the first trailer increased drastically. So I had to pay about an extra $3,000 for another 30-foot trailer with smaller axles, and also torsion axles, guys, are ridiculously expensive. So my build cost increased by about $3,000. Then I had to go buy a temporary trailer to hold me over. Well, at the time, I should have just bought a Titan because he had some available on the lot, but I didn't want to pay the extra money for a Titan because I didn't know how good a Titan was. So I went out and spent about $11,000 on a Hefty. Guys, and let me tell you, do not ever, ever, ever buy a Hefty trailer. I don't think there is a worse manufacturer out there than Hefty. So I used the Hefty until my 30-foot Titan showed up, and then I ran the 30-foot Titan, and I ended up turning my Hefty into my local hotshot trailer because it was so short. It was great for doing local work. So my 30-foot Titan was for long haul, and my 25-foot Hefty was for short haul. Well, the Hefty, the mega ramps started to bend from doing local work. They were not made to be driving up 10,000-pound skids and all that type of stuff on it. The trailer, that Hefty trailer was just built not strong. I mean, it was a basic flatbed gooseneck, not made for heavy haul, okay? So after a few months of using it for local work, I realized, okay, hey, this trailer is starting to have problems with the loading ramps. And I started having electrical problems too because the electrical wiring was all unprotected, and it was a piece of garbage. We'll just leave it at that. But ended up ordering my 28-foot Titan, and then once that showed up pretty quick actually, within I think about 6 or 8 weeks. We ended up paying for that in full, and then I ended up selling off the Hefty, and I ended up losing about $2,000 from what I paid. So not too bad at all with that investment. It got me started. It made me a lot of money, that little Hefty, and it did its job, but it really only lasted about 6 months before it started having some problems. So, but that was that. And now we got the 2022 Ram 2500. I'm already at 65,000 miles in about just under a year. So by the time I hit the year, I'll be probably at about 70. And then I got my 30-foot Titan, and that sucker has, I think, about 25,000 miles on it. The 28-foot Titan has about 5,000 miles on it, and my truck, I've ran about 28,000 miles worth of power-only loads. So, guys, it's been a good first year. Lots of lessons learned, not a lot of money made, just like I was saying. Unfortunately, it is what it is. But we're looking forward to year 2. We got really cheap insurance renewal, dropped by over about $6,000, so pretty happy about that. And we'll see what this year holds, guys. I'm going to be running non-CDL at least through the end of this year. And we'll see if we can afford to make the switch over to CDL or not. To be honest, I don't think that's probably going to happen, especially with the state of the economy. So we're going to be running non-CDL for the foreseeable future. Anyways, guys, that's going to sum it up. If you enjoyed this video, guys, please shoot me a like and a subscribe. If you have any comments or questions, please don't hesitate to throw them in the comment section. And guys, stay tuned for more hotshot content. Thank you.